On Sunday night, one of the most anticipated series in the NBA will start. These two featured teams are as close as can be, and this has potential to be one of the best series of the whole playoffs. And this series I will be talking about is the second seed Toronto Raptors versus the third seed Boston Celtics. And in this video, I'll be discussing and giving an analysis on the series. Don't forget to like the video to show support, subscribe to keep up with my uploads, and comment to start a conversation with me. And play that intro. A great series like this has many factors, and possibly the biggest one is Gordon Hayward's absence, since he injured his ankle and will be out potentially for the whole playoffs. Gordon will be missed by Boston because against a team like Toronto, who has a plethora of perimeter defenders such as OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, Norman Powell, and Terrence Davis, it would have helped Boston to have an extra player who can go off the dribble and create their own shot. The Raptors have had the best defense in the bubble so far, and they have defenders to guard all of Boston's perimeter players because they can put OG Anunoby on Jason Tatum, Pascal Siakam on Jaylen Brown, and Kyle Lowry or Fred VanVleet on Kemba Walker. That much size on Boston's two wings can possibly be too much for them to handle, and Kemba has never been the best in the playoffs. I believe Boston will struggle if Jason, Jaylen, and Kemba don't play well, because Toronto has them beaten in death compartment. I also believe Boston can give Toronto some problems on offense, with Boston being one of the elite defensive teams in our league. Toronto lacks a player who you can give the ball to and he can create a shot out of anything. They had that last year with Kawhi, but Boston does have a player like that in Jason Tatum and to a certain degree Kemba Walker. So in late close games, Toronto could possibly struggle. But at the end of games, I can see both teams struggling because in Boston's closing lineup, they will have two players who you can somewhat ignore on the perimeter in Daniel Tice and Marcus Smart. They're both not bad shooters, but in the playoffs, you have to live with them shooting rather than Boston's other two stars. The thing with Toronto is that everyone who plays regular minutes for them can shoot, maybe besides Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, but I don't expect him to play often in this series. Boston might struggle guarding Toronto because the paint will be wide open. A large part to that is due to Toronto having two centers in their rotation who are elite shooters, and Serge Ibaka. And on top of being good shooters, they can protect the rim, meaning Boston will have no easy shots in the paint. Toronto's biggest fear should be Jason Tatum taking over the series and doing something crazy, like averaging 35 points in a series. I doubt that will happen, but he is certainly capable of it. In this series, I think Boston's biggest X factor is Marcus Smart because he will be needed to make up for Gordon Hayward's absence in some way. And Toronto's X factor is two players in my opinion, and that is Serge Ibaka and Norman Powell. Because if the Raptors can have two players that play good enough to start, it will leave the margin for error higher than Boston's. After doing a thorough examination of each team, I've come to the conclusion that with Boston's absence of Gordon Hayward, I predict the Toronto Raptors to win in 6 games. The main reasons to this is the fact that I think Toronto's defense and depth will cause a lot of problems for Boston, and I don't believe Boston's big three will score enough to keep up with the Raps. But don't be mistaken, I believe this series will be a very close 6 games, and I wouldn't be surprised if it went to 7 or if Boston won. I hope it lives up to the hype. Anyways guys, that's it for the video. Don't forget to like to show support, subscribe to keep up with my uploads, and comment to start a conversation with me. Also check these 2 videos up above if you like this one, and I'm out.